Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Teofimo Lopez Jr. And there's a lot of back and forth, true and false things that's been going around with Teofimo Lopez, okay? And ESPN questioned that will Teofimo Lopez fight George Kambosos in Australia in his next fight, okay? According to Michael Coppinger, that is not real, okay? Last week, I reported that Triller is planning the reschedule for October 17th in Sydney, Australia, which would make it a hometown fight for the title challenger. The problem is that Lopez isn't on board at all. Teofimo isn't interested in traveling overseas, nor is he interested in the 14-day quarantine travelers face. It's especially an issue, his manager Dave McWater said, when the fighter is cutting weight, a difficult chore for someone Lopez's size. Lopez also doesn't want to wait until mid-October to fight when the original rescheduled date was August 14th. McWater said that Lopez would rather relinquish his 135-pound title than make the trip down under. In the background, Lopez has retained longtime boxing attorney Pat English to convince the IBF that the fight is overdue. The 23-year-old is in the midst of his long-term deal with Top Rank and a pact he renegotiated last month amid issues with his promoter that followed Triller snatching up the rights to his mandatory title defense against Kambosos at an IBF purse bid in February. The fight was rescheduled for June 19th in Miami, but Lopez tested positive for COVID-19, and the bout was postponed just 4 days out from the fight night. The virus sidelined Lopez for a few weeks, and he still has some minor lingering effects. But as of Monday, he had tested negative for the coronavirus 22 days straight and has resumed training. Triller lost nearly $5 million on the event after travel expenses, marketing costs, etc. To recoup the money, Triller's Ryan Kavanaugh wants the fight in Australia, a boxing-starved country where the citizens support their own. Just look at the packed stadium that we saw Jeff Horn controversial win over Manny Pacquiao. But McWater, on the behalf of Lopez, has been steadfast. The fight isn't happening in Australia. Carnival has planted his feet in the ground too. It doesn't appear either party will give in. Lopez is due to earn a career-high payday of nearly $4 million, so he would be losing more than just his status as undisputed lightweight champion. Meanwhile, sources told ESPN that Top Rank is discussing the long-awaited rematch between him and Lomachenko. Bingo. Lopez appointed Loma when they met in October. If Lopez Loma 2 replaces Kambosos, I'm sure boxing fans will be just fine. Let me counterpunch, people. I seen this happen as soon as Teofimo Lopez Sr. went on air and said I was impressed by the performance of Lomachenko. I thought it was an awesome performance by Lomachenko, and I would like to see that fight between my son and Lomachenko. I knew, you know what? Chances this Kambosos fight won't happen. Regardless of the purse, regardless of what Triller says, it won't happen, okay? And to see Lopez take on Lomachenko again, I think would be a real treat. I know nothing about George Kambosos, and just fact, he looks like George Michael. That's the only thing I really think of him. He looks like a really pissed off George Michael, and he earned his IBF fight. Unfortunately, it still will be a unified fight though, but it just won't be with the IBF because the IBF don't play. Okay, and if he decides to fight Lomachenko instead, that doesn't warrant him keeping the IBF belt. So George Kambosos gets his belt without getting a payday, but he still is a champion. So he can fight whoever at 135 for that belt. So that leaves opportunity for someone else. So whoever George can fight or whatnot, that will be the IBF version of that, or he could fight him later on if he gets past Lomachenko. But the problem is Triller. Okay, he decided to go with Triller, and because he decided not to travel, that's costing Triller a lot of money. How do you think Triller will respond to that? However, the deal that he wanted with ESPN, I think he got, and I think because he went to Triller's because he didn't get what he felt that he was worth at ESPN. But now that he has what he feels he's worth with ESPN, I don't think that Teofimo's pissed off at all. I think he's happy about it. So I don't think that there will be a problem there, or he won't be missing huge amounts of paydays because he just got paid what he felt he was respected from where he was already at. People do that shit all the time. They use leverage from other places as purse bids, like in his case, to get what he wants back home. Okay, let's look at it this way. You had a job at UPS, and then you're making $20 an hour, but you wanted $25 an hour, and the UPS told you no. Well, you go to FedEx, and then they offer you 26. Well, then that's what you can do. You can go back to UPS and say, well, FedEx offered me 26. See, here you go. Boom, shakalaka. What are you going to do about it? Okay, well, then UPS will offer you 25. Then you'll go back. That's exactly what Teofimo did in this case, and COVID, I think, is not always a bad thing. I think it's a weapon people use, a tool people use when getting things done. Okay, because if anything, I know it's a hassle going somewhere and staying 14 days. That's why I haven't went anywhere like India and places like that, or the UK, because I don't believe in doing all that shit. You know what I mean? Who wants to do that? I'm going to stay there and I want to quarantine 10 days, then have a vacation. You know what I mean? I'm claustrophobic, so that's going to be nearly impossible. So if Teofimo's anything like me, I definitely understand the brother. So, but as far as fighting or the progression of the division goes, we should have had the Lomachenko rematch anyway. So things happen probably pretty much the way it's supposed to happen due to whatever. You know what I mean? There is still the powers that be. Karma is amongst us. Okay, so when he said that, hey, I might not fight, if he fights Lomachenko, I feel it would be the right decision anyway. I feel that's what he's supposed to have done, and we get back to this point where we have a unified reckoning between the old warrior or the old king versus the new one. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Teofimo Lopez willing to relinquish the IBF title to George Kambosos. Tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.